Hi, Sunday school. How's it going? Okay, so we heard about all different things with the Israelites, and they're still wandering in the wilderness. Well, guess what? You know how we have a church and we get to go to that church and worship God, and it's where we meet with God, it's where we have all of our brothers and sisters in Jesus, and we come together and we worship Him. Well, when these guys were wandering around in the wilderness, they didn't have a church building, so it was really sad because they didn't have like a special place to worship. So God told Moses that he needed to build them a church. Now, here's the thing. If you are wandering around in the wilderness and you set up camp one night, you stay a few days, and then you head out after that and you find another place to camp, well, it might be a little tricky to build churches every single place you go. So God told them to build a tabernacle, and that was going to be their place to worship. And the cool thing is that it was going to be like a big, huge tent that they could take with them. So they would set it up and stay there for as long as God would have them stay. And then when it was time to go, they would just take down the tent and head out. So God gave Moses all sorts of instructions, and Moses did exactly what God said. So first of all, God told Moses, he said, you need to get those 10 commandments, the tablets that you wrote the 10 commandments down on, and you need to put them in the Ark of the Covenant. So that really beautiful, ornate, kind of like box container, but it was gorgeous. And you got to put the tablets inside that, called the Ark of the Covenant. And then you need to put that so it's inside the tabernacle, the church, but it's like protected. So no one can see it unless it's a very special time that God tells that person to do that. So what Moses did is he put the 10 commandments inside the Ark of the Covenant, and then he got this really thick, giant curtain, and he set it up so that it divided the tent. So the curtain was thick and it would protect the Ark of the Covenant, and the people would not be able to see it. And God dwelled there in that place. And then what he did after that was he set up a couple things that God wanted in the church so they could worship. So he said, set up a table with bread on it. So Moses set up a table on one side of the tent and he put the bread on it. And that was for the Lord. And then he took a couple lampstands and he set up lamps so there could be light in the tabernacle. And then after that, he took, they had like a gold altar, this beautiful gold altar. And he set it up right like outside that curtain, that thick curtain. And what he did on that gold altar was he would burn incense to God. So incense is like this stuff you like burn in it. When you burn it, it smells so good. It smells like really pretty. And so that would be a way that they would like be like sending up their prayers to God. They would burn that incense for the Lord. And then after that, God told him to, Moses put up another thick curtain. And that blocked off another area for this place of worship. And in there, what he was supposed to put, and he did, he put another altar. This one wasn't a gold altar. This was an altar for burnt offerings. So when the people would bring their offerings, the animals that they were going to offer to God, and also the grain offerings that they were going to offer to God, they would have the priest burn it on that altar, the altar of burnt offerings. And then after that, right in the entryway, so only the priests were allowed to go in this area. The people were allowed to be in a different area, and I'll explain that in a second. But God told Moses to have like a basin filled with water, like right in the entrance where you'd go and you'd have these curtains right there. So Moses set up a basin with water, and what they did is Aaron, he was a priest, so he would be able to go in and do those offerings in that very special place where God was dwelling. And then also, Aaron had some sons. So those sons were also priests. And they would do the same thing, offer the sacrifices for the people. And in order to go into this part of the tabernacle, God told them that they needed to use this water in the basin to wash themselves so that they'd be nice and clean and holy for Jesus, for God, the Lord. And then outside of that area was a big courtyard. So if you've ever been at a place where they have like a huge courtyard, it's like this grassy area. I'm not really sure how grassy it was for the Israelites, but it was this big area where they could all get together and they would bring their offerings. The priests would take it into the tabernacle to sacrifice it, and the people would worship there. And then, this is a really cool part. So since they were traveling, what God did to show them that, number one, he was there with them. And number two, when they should stop for the night and set up camp for a couple months or a couple weeks or whatever, what he did is he descended upon this tabernacle on top of it in a big cloud, a really thick cloud. And during the day, the Lord would be there in that cloud and the people could see it. And then at nighttime, he would be in the form of fire inside this cloud. So at nighttime, you'd see this fire burning in this cloud. And he was showing the people that he was there with them. And then when he wanted them to pack up and go, he would make the cloud lift off the tabernacle so that the people knew, okay, now it's time to go. So they'd pack up the tabernacle, their place to worship, their mobile church, and they'd head out. And then whenever the cloud would then settle, come back down, they would know, okay, this is where God wants us to stay. And that is the story of the Israelites and their tabernacle. Bye, Sunday school.